every 4 to 6 months, go back home, take care of business, and she goes, I have an opportunity to buy a house here. I'm like, oh great, where is it? It's in a 55 older park, and I went, what? And so I came down here and went, oh, okay. And she goes, oh, I've already made the offer. I'm like, oh, okay. So I came down here, and back then I am my same status, but I had a ponytail down to here, and I was a bit of a artist background, musician, construction guy, and she goes, oh, you have to meet Tom. I'm like, Tom, the manager. I went, oh, I'm okay with that. She goes, oh, no. I'm not sure if you're gonna pass Tom's pass. I'm like, what's wrong with me? So I said, okay. She goes, you need to clean up. I'm like, well, I don't know how to clean up to do that. So came down, and the offer was accepted, but Tom still had the judge and jury, from my understanding, was to check off that we're okay to buy the property. So I have one guy that's gonna change my life. So I get there, and I walk in casual, and I went, nice to meet you, Tom. I sat down, he talked to me, he looked at me, I looked at him, and I went, oh, I like this guy. It was like brother souls, man. It was just so relaxing, so his gaze was, you read a lot about people if you know how to read people. And I looked and hit that man and went, do I pass the audition? And we got checked, but the big thing was dogs. And I've been a dog trainer for 30 years, and I had 2 dogs with us, and I've trained a lot of dogs here in the park for a lot of people, but I had a rat terrier, purebred, and I also had a purebred female poodle, which was a little larger than the size for the park. So I said, Tom, here's the deal. I said, that's my girl. I mean, this is Daddy's girl. She's Mimi. And when I first got here, very few people walk their dogs. I walked my dogs religiously, and now to this day, our park is dog friendly for walking, and I love seeing it because it was fabulous. So he said, well, maybe I should meet them. He met Mimi, and he goes, you know what? You're checked off the list, which was fabulous. So that was my sort of Tom, his kindness, his generosity. But today, I got dressed emotional. So I have had this shirt for 30 years. I have worn this shirt 4 times. And every time I've worn it, it's been because of this, to honor friends that have passed. So I want to honor Tom with this shirt because he deserves it. So there you are.
And Tom loved the Beatles. I've got albums. I hope they're worth something. They're old. Thank you so much, Willard.
Yeah.
And,
Well, thank you for Tom, because he was here. And you guys, the improvement since I've been a short time and where this park has become has improved so much. And I'm so proud to be part of this park and be able to help. And Tom's helped me helping this park, but his integrity, his spirit is just, this park has changed so much in the short period of time that I've been here. It's been phenomenal because of Tom.
And I have a quick story to share about Willard here. So Willard, during COVID, we had to go and do our COVID test, our vaccine. And so Willard, who has done so much work in the park to help people, along with Gil, who's not here, and a number of other gentlemen who live here. So Willard goes in, and he was real smart because we needed to get our vaccines, and he was in front of me, and he said that he was the maintenance guy here. And so I was like, oh yeah, that's right, he is. And so we got right in and got our vaccines. But
Does the
But
pharmacy,
anyway,
yeah.
but this fella has been a good man and has done a lot of good things for the park too, and so I just wanna thank you. And then I'm gonna share one 30-second story and tell you, because you all don't know this about Tom and I. I met Tom at Soho. I was on the board of the Santa Barbara Jazz Society. And I needed to get a shot of Carol Diamond, who was a jazz singer, and she was down south. Dan McIntosh, who had been president of the Santa Barbara Jazz Society, was our then photographer, and he was not available. So then I, who wore many hats, became the photographer that day, and I needed to get the shot. I ran out of film. He was sitting with Doug Dunlap, TV and Tom, outside on the patio at Soho. And I said, does anybody here have a camera? And Tom very casually said, I do. And I said, well, where is it? And he said, it's in my car. And I said, well, what is it that I have to do to get you to run? Because I was so panicky about getting this photograph of Carol Diamond for our jazzette. And so I've written a poem about it, and I call it Marry Me, and I say that, you know, that what I had to do was marry him, and so of course I said I do. But when I moved in with him, 6 months before we got married, he said to me, oh, well, I thought you were just gonna bring your toothbrush and a couple clothes. And I said, well, that's not really the way that it works. And he said, well, you know, you can live out of boxes for all I care. And so we struggled in the first year and a half. I was 18 years younger than Tom, but we made it through. He always, I've read so many things that he's written in the past, and he talked about thick and thin and how people in his past were not there through thick and thin. And I was there through thick and thin, and the last thing that he said to me in terms of when he sent our anniversary flowers to whom he was, you know, thanks for sticking with him through thick and thin, because he had difficulty adapting to women. And we were very tight, and we got along very well. Occasionally we had some power struggles, but we respected each other, and we appreciated each other. And it was the one thing that I think people in life want and need, and that is to be appreciated. And he was by me, and I know he was by all of you, and I am so grateful to those of you who have loved him and appreciated him. Thank you.